All right, sports bettor, are you ready to learn about the most profitable sports betting strategies? At the end of this video, I am going to give you the tools to become a profitable sports bettor. So I'm going to be detailing what are the best sports betting strategies. That's it. Pretty simple. Detailing the top sports betting strategies. I am Matt Modi. I'm a content producer and betting analyst for OddsJam.com. If you want to find me on social media, you can at my Twitter handle that is on the screen here. I also put it in the description and first comment of the video. So we can get right into it. I'm going to be talking about 3 different sports betting strategies. Arbitrage, which is a literal risk-free way of making money. Middle betting, which is when you place a bet on both sides and there's a chance that you don't lose either of your bet. And then the most profitable, my personal favorite, positive expected value betting. So we can get right into it. Don't need to dilly-dally here. The first strategy, as I mentioned, is going to be talking about arbitrage. Like I said, it is a literal risk-free way to make money betting on sports. The way it works, you literally just bet on both sides of the same outcome, an over or an under, or both teams to cover the spread, whatever it may be, and you will literally guarantee profit. There is no scenario in which you are losing money. So here's an example of a arbitrage opportunity. In this case, we're looking at Jalen Green over and under 3.5 assists. It's at plus 160 on one sportsbook. It's at minus 136 on the other. And here's a screenshot taken directly from the OddsJam arbitrage page. This is exactly what it looks like. It tells you the play. And then if you click this little calculator here on the left, it pulls up what you see on the right of your screen right here. Jalen Green over 3.5, Jalen Green under 3.5. So first things first, the first question people always ask, how does this happen? Why does this exist? That doesn't make any sense. So the way sports betting works, and we can go back to the screenshot here of all the different sports books. All sports books operate independently, almost like they are their own financial institution. The more they receive money one way, the more the odds change. The more money a different sports book receives a different way, their odds are going to be different. So these sports books independently come to their own conclusion of what odds should be priced at, basically supply and demand. Some sports books have higher limits than others. Some sports books just aren't as popular and don't receive as much action as others. Regardless of what it may be, because of this fact that all sportsbooks price odds independently, a situation can be created where there are market inefficiencies between the sportsbooks, like this exact example. It's just a market discrepancy, a market inefficiency between both of these sportsbooks. Play Maverick, legal in Colorado, FanDuel, legal in Colorado, and a bunch of other states. So in terms of the math, here's kind of the way it works. In this calculator, again, if you just click this button right here, it will literally do all the math for you. You just need to input how much you want to risk on one side, and it will do the entire math and formula for you. So for this specific example, on one side, Jalen Green over 3.5 assists, you would risk $100 at plus 160 odds. If that hits, you would get a total payout of $260. You would get your initial risk of $100, and then you would get your profit of 160, payout of 260. On the other side, the same exact bet, and keep in mind, it's over or under 3.5. There's no scenario in which both of these bets lose, right? He can't land at exactly a half. So it's either going to be 4 or higher or 3 or fewer. One of these sides will win. So on the other side, on FanDuel, you place a bet at roughly $150 at minus 136 odds for the same exact payout of $260. So if you do the total math here, no matter what side wins, you will have a total payout of $260, but you will only risk roughly $250, right? You're risking 100 on the over and 150 on the under, $150. And no matter what happens here, you'll get a guaranteed payout of $260, so a guaranteed profit of $10.17. Now I understand, okay, the $10.17 might not seem like that much, but in this case, we're getting a 4% return on our investment. So multiply this one arbitrage bet, maybe you do 5 on a given day. That's like a guaranteed $50 that you have to play with. that there was no chance of it losing. Now let's say your bankroll is a little bit higher. You go from risking 100 to 500. The payout goes from 10 to 50 on this one individual arbitrage opportunity. So when it comes to arbitrage strategies, unfortunately, because you have to stake a little bit more money because you're betting both sides and the payouts are a little bit lower just based on the percent, my personal strategy with arbitrage is to use it as a way to almost supplement your positive expected value betting. You place 5 arbitrage bets a day and you profit $50. That is 7 times 5. That is $350 that you have to play with on a given week. That is guaranteed profit, no chance of it losing. So I like to use it as a way, like I said, to kind of supplement my positive expected value betting, which I'll get into. Basically, your starting profit when you are arbitrage betting, you're already in the green. You're literally starting the month, the week, the day, whatever, in the green because of arbitrage. So that's how arbitrage works. It's risk-free money. You bet on both sides of the same exact play and you'll guarantee profit. All right, so next up, another strategy, we're going to be talking about middle betting, which is pretty similar to arbitrage in that you're still betting both sides. If I move my camera here, but if you do bet both sides, there is a chance that you will not lose one side. You will not lose either of the sides. So you could place 2 bets, win one, push one, win both. Either way, there's a chance that you're not losing either of the sides. So in the example I provided, it would be 1 win, 1 push. And here's how it works. So like I said, you're placing a bet on both sides. In this case, we're looking at the Lakers versus Grizzlies, that the play is on the third quarter total points market. FanDuel has this priced at over 59.5 at plus 110 odds. Circa has this priced at under 60 at minus 110 odds. So you want to place a bet on both sides. Let's say you're betting $100 on the over 59.5 and $110 on the under 60. Now, obviously, the chance of this is low, but if the total lands on exactly 60, here's what happens. You win your bet of over 59.5, so you profit $110, right? You risk 100 to profit 110. Your bet for under 60 would push, meaning you would get a refund for it. So the $110 that you risked, you would get refunded. So you would get a total profit of $110 if it lands on exactly 60, which again, I know is risky, but any other scenario, you just get your money back. That's it. You break even. You don't lose money. You don't win money. So it's basically a chance of you to profit $110 and the risk is literally zero. Because if any other outcome happens, let's pretend it goes over 61, over 60. So it lands at 61. You would risk $100 to profit 110. That bet would win. So you would get a payout of $210, a profit of 110. You would lose 110 on the other side, net neutral. You didn't lose anything. The opposite, the total lands on 59 or below. You would profit $100 on your under 60 bet, 110 risked to profit 100. You would lose your bet on over 59.5, so you would lose that $100. So even in the opposite scenario, it's the same exact payout. You would profit $100 on the under. You would lose $100 on the over. You would be completely net neutral. So again, it's a 0% risk in order to profit $110. So the difference in arbitrage is a guaranteed profit. There's no scenario in which you lose money, but the payouts are a little bit lower because you're placing a bet on both sides. Payouts are normally between like 1 and 2%. I found a 4% one. That's a little bit rare. Middle betting, the payout is higher. In this case, I have a potential profit of $110, but the chance of that happening is obviously slim. It needs to land on exactly 60. It's not impossible, right? The sports books are telling you that it's like the most likely scenario is that it lands on 60, but it doesn't mean that that's likely to happen. But you're not losing any money. So there's no harm, no foul with middle betting. You're betting both sides, possibly not losing either side, and you're guaranteeing to at least break even. That's middle betting. Next up, we have positive expected value. Now I have a screenshot on the next page, so that's why this slide is so blank. But when you are positive expected value betting, you are betting just one side. So no longer are you betting both sides of the outcome. You're just betting one, but that side is mathematically profitable. There is a mathematical edge calculated with this one side of the bet. And here is a screenshot taken directly from the positive expected value page that we can walk through. So what we see here, this is just the game that we are betting on. This is the market. This is the play. And this is the sportsbook / the odds. So minus 110 at Bet365, the over 147 in Miami, Ohio versus Western Michigan. But the most important things to note here from the positive EV page is this number you see on the far right. These are called the no vig odds. So whenever you are looking at the positive expected value page, there is always going to be odds on the far right under the column no vig odds. And this is where everything is pulled from. This is where the entire profitability, the edge comes from. So it's very important to understand. And the odds we see here are at minus 115.76. These odds can be viewed as the perfect line of what a market should be priced at, the most accurate representation of how a market should be priced. So getting better odds than the OddsJam perfect line, which is again, the no vig odds column here, that is where your profitability comes from. Basically saying this truly should be priced at about minus 116 or so, a little bit less than that. We are getting it at minus 110 at Bet365. That is your profitability. There is your edge. And the gap between these two numbers is what pulls this percent we see here on the far left. So basically, the bigger the gap between these two numbers, the higher this percent is. And this percent can be viewed as your percent edge over the sportsbook you're placing the bet with. Can also be viewed as your profit margin, right? Your expected profit for this individual bet. And the way the no vig odds are calculated, they're pulled from the sharpest sportsbooks in the world, the sportsbooks that are considered the best in the world at pricing odds. And that's why they're viewed as the most accurate reflection of a market, is because they're pulled from the most accurate sportsbooks at pricing odds. Earlier in this video, in the arbitrage section, I mentioned that each sportsbook comes to their odds independently, right? They have their own formula of how they calculate odds, which is really based on supply and demand. And each sportsbook is going to accept different levels of action, right? Different sportsbooks are going to be more comfortable with different levels of risk, depending on the market. And there are some sportsbooks that quite simply are better than others at pricing odds. That is why market efficiencies exist in the first place. So in arbitrage, we're taking advantage of two books that are mispriced. With positive expected value betting, we're taking advantage of one book that has mispriced odds. So again, what we're doing is we are betting on one side that is mathematically profitable. But that doesn't mean every single bet on the positive EV page should be hammered. Yes, it's going to be mathematically profitable, but the additional research that I recommend doing is listed right here. You want to compare odds to the sharp sports books and see where they are pricing the play at. And you want to make sure that you're betting on an outlier to those sharp sports books. So if we go back to this example here, the over 147 at minus 110 odds. And then I mentioned real quick, sharp sports books like BetOnline and Pinnacle. Well, look at where BetOnline, which is this one right here, and Pinnacle have this play priced. BetOnline has it at minus 127. Pinnacle has it all the way at minus 133. And again, we are getting it at minus 110. So we're getting a play that is 17 cents lower than the BetOnline price and 23 cents lower than the Pinnacle price. These two sportsbooks are considered among the best at pricing odds. So you want to compare the odds of the bet you're placing to these sharp sportsbooks. And if you can bet on an outlier to those sharp sportsbooks, that is something that will be profitable in the long run. A couple things to note here. Variance is a bigger part of positive expected value betting, which is not the case with arbitrage and middle. With arbitrage, you're guaranteeing profit. With middle, you're at least guaranteeing to break even. With positive expected value betting, because you're betting on one side of the market, your bet's either going to win or it's going to lose. So if it loses, you lose your risk. If it wins, obviously you get your profit. And assuming every single bet that you place has an edge, it's something that will be profitable in the long run. You just have to accept highs and lows, swings, when it comes to positive expected value betting. Sports are unpredictable. Upsets happen all the time. Even though every single bet you place from the positive EV page does have an edge, a mathematically profitable, a calculated edge, doesn't mean you're going to win every single bet. Doesn't mean you're going to profit. every single day, week, even month. Now, it'll be something that will be green in the long run, but you have to have some patience. You have to exercise patience when you are positive expected value betting. But if you can find bets that are like this, outliers to Bet Online and Pinnacle, 2.5% edge, really, really good play here. Continually betting on plays like this, that is something that will be profitable in the long run. So I've detailed arbitrage, I've detailed middle, I've detailed positive EV. So the only thing left to do is to profit. Hopefully this video made sense. If you have any questions, any comments, please comment and let me know in the video. Other than that, please remember to like and subscribe. Helps me out a ton. And then if you want to find me on social media, you can at Jedi Modi. But that is all I got for you. So we've learned arbitrage betting, middle betting, positive EV betting, the best sports betting strategies in the world that you have now learned that you can apply to your sports betting endeavors, and you can become a profitable sports bettor. And that's it. So I appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.